All right, back at you with another hardware review, this time for the Analogue Duo. So, of course, you may be asking, what is the Analogue Duo? It is a recreation of what I've come to find is the very underrated TurboGrafx 16 or PC Engine, depending on your region, game console. Games came in both Hue cards and later on CDs, and as the name implies, the Duo runs both. Obviously, it is made by Analogue, and it is fully featured for its intended scope, but comes with a few caveats. So first, let's start with the pros. It's got a great game library. I found a lot of really good games on the system, and I'd never even heard of TurboGrafx 16 until shortly before getting this thing. Well, the Analog Pocket, I'd say. Before I got that first. But anyway, I think very underrated system. It's got a lot of great games on it. You're gonna have a lot of fun. It does have one socket for an original controller. Otherwise, it's got Bluetooth and wireless controller support. Um, in the original console, it had some supporting Hue cards, like a game would need an extra, I don't know if it was memory or some sort of function or whatever that was done by these extra cards. You don't have to have any of those. That's all covered. That's all just incorporated into the Duo. Um, it does have save states on the Hue card games, although that wasn't actually true at launch. That was a firmware update. So nowadays there are save states on those, though not on the CDs. But of course, CD games typically have their own saves. It's got a pretty compact design as a console. It is pretty much just as big as it needs to be. It's pretty thin. It's easy to find a spot for. It's not big, so that's always a plus. And it, like the Analog Pocket, it's got visual filters you can switch between on it to make it look more like an old display. The fact that that is an issue kind of links through to one of the cons. So let's go over the cons of the Analog Duo. And this is where it gets complicated. First off, you cannot just load other cores onto it, despite it being an FPGA console. There may be a jailbreak out there somewhere, but I wasn't able to find it. So it does not have support for other cores. So it really does do what it says it's gonna do. It's gonna do the TurboGrafx 16 slash PC Engine games, and that's kind of it. So keep that in mind. It's not like the Analog Pocket, which has this vast array of things it can pull from. The console only has HDMI output. It does not have any old school connectors. You can't use it with a retro display. That definitely puts a damper on things. So it can't really replace the original console if you have one, for example, because your setup might have an old monitor, right? So that's a con. It doesn't include controllers. It's not completely surprising. It's not that big a deal. I mean, you can get an 8-bit DOE TurboGrafx 16 controller for like $20. I mean, it's kind of whatever. Now, it doesn't include an SD card. Now, that's kind of obnoxious. That's kind of obnoxious. Let's be real. Especially because you can't use save states on the Hue cards unless you have an SD card. So this is an entire feature of the console. It just doesn't function out the gate. You have to go and buy an SD card. That's just kind of stingy. Let's be real. Um, and lastly, there are very few, but there are multiple games that will not actually work with the Analog Duo. I wasn't able to find a comprehensive list, but I know my copy of Zack 3 simply won't run up, unfortunately, and the disc seems to be perfectly fine. So that's a con. It's not really 100% compatible for whatever reason. Um, Although I will say, I guess this could have gone in the pros, but all this to say, as a verdict, I recommend it. I think it's a good system if it fits with your needs. It's not particularly expensive. $249.99 isn't bad for a console, as long as you know what you're getting. As a first-time TurboGrafx 16 player, I've had a really good experience with it. Just really been enjoying the games. I sat down and played Loom for the first time on this console. I just dragged it out in the living room, put it on the big television, and enjoyed the crap out of it. It was a great experience. I'll always remember it. So it's good. But caution for the cons I gave you. There might be the occasional game that doesn't work. Being able to not being able to use a retro display really hurts, quite frankly, given what it is. But if you're not a power user, I think you could have a good experience with this console, like I have. You might be pickier than me, so I hope you understand that this is coming from a place where I don't actually have a lot of retro hardware, so it just wasn't a problem for me. It's like, oh, HDMI, okay, cool. So that was just fine. But keep those things in mind. I still think it's a very good console, and I very much enjoyed it. And yeah, I'll see you out there.